morning, local homeowners angry about recent property assessments took their concerns directly to the Sioux City assessor tonight.
I don't want to talk about hypotheticals and what the state may or may not do. I want to focus on what your department did. These are the numbers that they came out. Not hypothetically what our taxes will be, just what the percentages that our new assessments are at.
Over 100 people packed a room inside the Sioux City Public Museum for the informational meeting organized by City Assessor Tyler Erickson. New property assessments, some that are much higher than they were last year, were recently mailed to local property owners. Some people were shocked to see assessments more than $100,000 higher. Erickson explained how the assessor's office arrived at those numbers. One method uses comparable properties which have recently sold. Another method is the cost approach, which is an estimate of how much it would cost to replace a property with one similar to it.
I think in this time right now, currently with the values going the way that they are, it's shocking. You know, we look at sales every day and it's shocking to us. So I can only imagine, you know, a regular citizen looking at it and wondering where it's coming from. But to get the correct information out on how our office works, we also want to be available to the public.
You can appeal your assessment. We have a link inside this story at KTIV.com to the form on the city assessor's website. Now, many homeowners worry about an increase in their property taxes because of the new assessments. Here's the tax impact of those new assessments according to the city assessor. Here's an example. A home assessed at $100,000 in 2022, which was reassessed in 2023 at $150,000. Erickson says the taxable value would go up by $15,500. That works out to a $560 increase in property taxes for the year, or an increase of $47 a month. Here's another example. This home, assessed at $300,000 in 2022, was reassessed in 2023 at $380,000. Erickson says the taxable value of that home would go up $13,600. That works out to a $500 increase in property taxes for the year, or an increase of $42 per month. Homeowners will feel the tax impact of those new property assessments in the fall of 2024 and the spring of 2025.